What's up, everybody? It's Brian, aka Beyond Be More, and you're watching Soul Society 101 Voyagers. I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm still a resident of Baltimore. I actually work at a family-owned business. We own 3 funeral homes in Maryland. One thing you probably wouldn't know about me based on social media is that I'm an introvert. Once that energy runs out, I shut down. I don't want to be bothered. So what you see online is kind of like what I decided to put out there, but otherwise, I don't want to be bothered sometimes. I first fell in love with traveling as a young kid. I would always travel with my granddad, who's a minister. We'd take a lot of road trips together. That sparked my interest. I loved hitting up new cities, meeting new people, seeing new environments. I remember my first plane ride was to Cleveland, Ohio with my dad. And once I experienced that, flight, I was in love with air travel. And we also used to take a lot of trips on the train through Amtrak. So all around, I knew as a kid that traveling was something that I loved and something that I aspired to do in the future. Now I travel mainly for fun and for creativity purposes. Traveling has always inspired me. I always post about it. When I'm on flights, that's when I do my best thinking and brainstorming, and I come up with some ideas that I think to myself are genius. I always say, hey, whenever I need to get inspired or whenever I need some motivation, take a trip, change my environment, see new people, new experiences. And when I come back home, I'm like, yo, let's kill it. Being a black man traveling the world has been something that is very, very, very hard to put into words to most people. A lot of times people say, hey, yo, I'm afraid to go out of the country. I don't know how I'm going to be perceived. I'm a black man. And a lot of times that's just that American racism that puts that fear into us. I can personally say that I have never really experienced any type of racism abroad. Most places I go, they immediately, take a double take when they see me, and for whatever reason they're interested in getting to know me and my story. Even in countries in Africa, the first thing they'll say is like, hey, American boy. That's so funny to me that they can actually look at me and instantly tell that I'm not from whatever nation that I'm in at the time. But other than that, people are always interested in learning my story. When I'm in European countries, people often ask, how was life at home as a black man? And then I begin to describe it to them, and a lot of times they're in awe and amazed at how it is to live there and why a lot of us do travel and get out of the US, because sometimes it is an escape, and to go somewhere where you feel like you're appreciated and people are intrigued by you and your story and your background, but at home you're just walking day to day and no one's paying you any attention, or everyone's trying to get ahead of the next man. But traveling has opened my mind, made me more social with talking to people who I've never seen a day of my life, and I love it. Never want to stop. If I had to describe my travel style in 3 words, I would say go by yourself. I am like a big advocate of traveling solo. I like to be able to wake up in the morning, and even if I had plans, I know like, yo, I'm tired. I went out last night, I went a little bit too hard. I don't even want to do anything all day. So if I want to lay in the bed all day, get up and go whenever I feel like it. Nobody's on my back. Nobody knows who I am when I'm walking around. So if I just want to be by myself and zone out in my thoughts and just do me, it's the best feeling in the world. And I'd rather be anywhere by myself than with a big group of people. The craziest thing that has happened to me while traveling has to be the time that I decided to, despite warnings that a volcano might possibly erupt, I left Singapore and decided to go to Bali. And while in Bali, the volcano started smoking. Unfortunately, my flight got canceled back to Singapore, which left me pretty much stranded in Bali. And they told us like, you're not gonna get out of here for a few days. I had to then scramble, run around town because the internet connection wasn't the best. Places wanted cash for me to get another ticket out of Lombok, Indonesia, but the only way I was gonna get there was on a ferry. So I eventually was able to get out of there a few days later. I think it cost me like over $1,000, maybe more, to even get back home. Took the ferry from Bali to Lombok, got to Lombok, and they're like, you know what, the ash is moving towards this direction. You might not even get home from here. I leave Lombok, we flew, eventually got to Tokyo. I get to Tokyo after all of this traveling, there's no luggage there, and they're like, I got left in Indonesia somewhere. I eventually make it home after going from Tokyo to Detroit, then to Baltimore, and I just never felt like I had been more hopeless in my life, but I made it, so keep going. Out of all the countries I've been to, the destination where I felt the most at home has to be in Ghana. The first country that I actually felt, at home in Africa was Kenya. I was walking around and people would say, welcome home. Hey brother, you all are the stolen ones. And that really deeply affected me. It had a tremendous impact on me and inspired me to, to see more African countries before I went anywhere else in the world. But Ghana just, from the moment I landed, it was like, I'm home. Everyone was so chill, everyone was so laid back. They walked like me, they talked like me, they moved like me. It was just a vibe the whole time. If I could travel with any celebrity, I think it would be Will Smith. I love the way he started to travel the world lately, and his videos are like super dope. The things that he does on these trips. Of course, most of us will never be able to do it because we don't have the funds or the hookups or the connections that he has, but I just love watching these videos. He's so carefree. He's like, yo, I'm out here living. I'm in this country, and then the next week he's in another country. So that's a lot of inspiration for me lately, just watching his videos and seeing how he lives.